Fun just like a spell you spin, this precarious pandemonium. Boom. You can tell I'm on the ball today because I only got to Beanie Man there. All right, so we've been averaging about 8.5 pages a day. Well, actually, we're on day 10. So if we get 15 pages today, we'll get it to an average of 10 pages a day, which is where we want to be at. Spathywa says that it's stuttering again. Yeah, indeed it is. Huh, and we rebooted the machine. All right, let me kill the stream, and then we'll try it again. Jesus. All right. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, you know, sometimes, I don't know, tubes ain't connected right. Shouts to hopefully not having my dick hanging out while I'm walking over there. I don't know why y'all thought I would wear pants to this endeavor, but yeah, I've never worn pants on any one of these streams ever. It's day 10. We're fucking out here. Oh, no, it's still like stuttering and shit, huh? How bad is it? Because like we rebooted this machine. There's not a lot else I can do except buy a new machine at this point. I don't know. We'll give it a hot second. Wonder if I have anything weird running. Yeah, literally nothing running on this computer. All right, well, let's see. So we made it to chapter 6. Alarm will sound. All right, so we got 1.2 there. Let's go back to so Spathywa said that 1.1 had day 1 1.1 on there. Let me see, which is exactly how it should be. Yeah, so this day 1 1.1. Oh yeah, this is what we need. I just need day 1 there. And in fact, I would like to have our day counts be in Roman numerals, just so it's like Rocky 5. Burgers and fries. What kind of pie? I think it's a local internet issue, honestly. Because I don't see CPU usage on that machine is too high. Yeah, it seems like we're pushing too many Muga bits for this. Yeah, our indicator is like flicking to red. We're dropping frames. No, I'll try to move as little as I possibly can. Oh yeah, it's when we send the data. That it's yeah, so it's a fucking bandwidth problem. We can cut it down to hold on. In fact, let's do that. So, in a decision that may haunt future archivists, we've dropped the feed from 10,000 kilobits per second to 2500 kilobits per second. I know it's a quarter of the fucking quality. Because 10,000 is gratuitous, and the only reason I'm doing it is one, I like to fill up hard drives, apparently. And two, I'm like, why not? If I got the megabits, YouTube is remuxing all this downstream anyhow. And you can see like a pretty clear difference between the recording and like the YouTube compressed feed, but honestly, like, yeah, it's all green lights as far as we're going here. So yeah, we're going to change the days to Roman numerals. And in fact, let's roll all the way up there. Yeah, look at all the pixels that we're sending here. Seems like a bad deal for me. Because picture nothing before all this ever went down. Wait, did I name it that? Hell yeah. I love that song, man. Tom Petty. So that's where you meet Lemon, and maybe that 20-page chapter sitting right there. So yeah, I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. And we don't put a day count on half chapter. Yeah, and I want this one to be 0 day. Hell yeah. Perfect. Cool. It looks fine on my iPhone 1. Nice. Command Control G to 85. Back in there. It gets super blocky when I scroll. Probably when we're scrolling like really fast, but I bet like this kind of scrolling there, I bet that's not too blocky. But yeah, we'll just fucking deal with it here. All right, so 1.2, 3:33 a.m. The streets ain't easy. It's just as simple as that. The cheapest possible place is a hostel. Streets ain't easy. It's just as simple as that. The cheapest possible place is a hostel on 115th Street. $30 a night to sleep in a dorm. Way too expensive, Matthew thinks. But maybe for just one night. Except, all right, these should be italics. It's just as simple as that. Cheapest possible place is the hostel on 115th Street. $30 a night to sleep in a dorm. Way too expensive, but maybe for just one night, except they won't let Matthew in, because he's too young. The woman at the counter doesn't even seem fazed, as if she turns away 15-year-old runaways all the time. Maybe she does. It's dark outside, and though it's not really cold yet, it will be soon. If only Thirsty's grandma didn't hate him. If only his mother, his father, and near as he can tell, every other human being on earth didn't hate him. Matthew buys a single-fare Metro card and takes the subway to the Port Authority bus terminal. All right, this should be capital. Bus. Half thinking that if he's going to be homeless, he might as well do it somewhere warm. It's 2 days and $150 to Miami, and his Spanish isn't half bad. He's actually passing the class. It's 4 days to Los Angeles, but he'd be dead broke when he got there. He almost buys the ticket to LA, but while he's standing in line, it closes in on him how final this is. But when he's standing in line, it closes. He almost buys the ticket to LA, but when he's standing in line, it closes in on him how final this feels. I think when you type LA, you do the initials rather than. Hold on, let's find out. Okay, yeah, so Ars Technica, but who cares what these fucking nerds think? LA, yeah. Okay, yeah. Wikipedia says L period A. Right now, he can wait until Gerald sobers up, 2 or 3 days at the most. He can see if his mom's still twisted on pills, if she even remembers the fight they got in. He can see if Thirsty's grandmother will let him stay there for a few days. Maybe she will if he takes off the yarmulke, tells her he's seen the light, and goes to their church. But in the end, Matthew doesn't want to do any of it. He sets out walking because he feels stupid for wasting subway fare to come here for no reason. Blocks and blocks in a city that grows more sinister by the hour. Familiar streets show their ugly sides when you've got nowhere to go. The street dogs can smell a runaway, even a few hours fresh. Matthew pats his yarmulke over and over, but it's not a roof over his head. And with every weirdo that approaches him, he can feel its special protection ebbing away. People usually ignore a Jew out in the middle of the night, figuring he's up to some weird religious shit. You can head to Brooklyn and see droves of them pushing strollers at 3 a.m. But he looks strange enough now that he sticks out. In his haste, he grabbed his red and white snowboarding jacket instead of the standard issue NYC black wool overcoat. He hadn't thought about blending in, hadn't thought about any of this. He keeps walking. Yeah. Matthew hadn't thought about blending in, hadn't thought about any of this. He keeps walking, his eyes locked straight ahead of him to seem as if he's got some purpose or destination, hoping a cop won't stop him. Finally, he stops for a 99-cent double burger to see if it'll calm down the acid feeling in his stomach. He tells them to make sure not to put too much cheese on it. Well, that's not a good... Oh, not to put cheese on it. Yeah. Finally, he stops for a 99-cent double burger, hold the cheese to see if it'll calm down the acid feeling in his stomach. Yeah. Okay. What was the sales tax? 4%, 4.8. 2015. Yeah. $4.5, so it'd be 8.5%. So you'd pay $1.07. The cheese subplot could be removed. Yeah. So it's not there without a purpose, right? We just have to have more Jewy stuff in there, and not eating a cheeseburger is like one of those like orthodox. Because I mean, honestly, there aren't that many things that make someone who's Jewish different from everybody else. One of those things is dietary restrictions. Other than that, like they're pretty fucking vanilla at this point, man. They go to like some weird holidays, but even if you're like relatively orthodox, not really. The Hasids are like they're doing something super weird. But I mean, hold on just a second. What the hell is that? All right, somebody sort out Red. He's malfunctioning. Let me see here. Maybe Red was fucking Juan all along. I was gonna boot him, but oh yeah. Here, we'll just devoice him. There you go. So Red has deteriorated rapidly. Yeah, do you think he's Juan? If he's Juan, he's got to go. I don't want that fucking drunken weirdo in our spot. No, speaking of which. No, he's not. Yeah. He was the guy who, yeah, I remember him. That's why I was like being nice to him and not just banning him directly out of the chat, because he was like making an effort in the stream. Maybe not the most helpful effort, but an effort nonetheless. You know what I mean? Oh, speaking of which, I've got like in non-editing related news, because we're gonna hop back into editing in a second there. I'm reading the rules for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and they actually, I think I read 4th edition, and I was like, this is dog shit, and I never played it. And apparently 5th edition is like their like Coca-Cola Classic to New Coke fucking maneuver. So I'm checking it out. I've been reading like their Monsters Manual and some other shit. I think I'm gonna spend the next couple weeks just reading all that, and may get involved in some nerd Dungeons and Dragons type shit. But yeah, like so. And then I've set up like a bunch of. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I don't have a phone. What the hell did I do with that phone? Oh, I should have brought down the phone. Oh, there it is. All right, hold on. Let me see. What have I got here? I got somebody starting tomorrow. Hold on. Here, hold on. Let me see. I can turn on this camera. And then, see, I can give you an idea of what we're working with here. Did I make a, yeah, so I made a NDI. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So you can see where I've got like this setup for where I want to stream the game. So I've been working on that a little bit. And we have the iPad now, so I can theoretically be drawing some of this stuff whilst it's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna try doing like a little beta type shit with that, and maybe get maybe like work out some of the narrative parts of it, even if the whole game part isn't fully fleshed out. So yeah, like, that's kind of neat there. Yeah, I want to try out the attribute system where there are like 4 attributes, well 5 attributes totally, where they just correspond to a card. Anyhow, and they're like randomized and so forth. It's a narrative engine that we're developing. There we go. Finally, Matthew stops for a 99-cent double burger to see if it'll calm the acid feeling in his stomach. Calm down is not good there. I like that better. Finally, Matthew stops for a 99-cent double burger to see if it'll absorb the acid feeling in his stomach. He tells them to hold the cheese, then pays $1.07. He ponders his fate, sitting on a cracked red plastic stool, squinting against the fluorescence at a plastic plaque embedded in a sticky table. Time limit, 30 minutes while consuming McDonald's food. Matthew takes his time eating the burger, which is mostly bun and ketchup. 30 minutes to figure out some way out of this mess. It's not nearly enough. Normally, he wouldn't give a shit about some plastic sign, but he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's half afraid they'll start hassling him. He'll burst into tears and they'll cough. Burger people. He's half afraid a manager will start hassling him. He'll burst into tears and they'll call the cops. So this actually takes place in Union Square. So we know that Matthew has been walking to the southeast for there are no solutions in this dismal in the dismal dining room of this McDonald's, and he shoulders his backpack, which seems a lot heavier. There are no solutions in this dismal dining room. Matthew shoulders his backpack. It seems much heavier now. When he hits the street, a droplet of rain pats right down against the middle of his forehead. This is splats. Splats It's like a little too goofy, I think. A bead of rain hits him right between the eyes. Fuck. I wasn't being serious, but now that you're thinking about it, plops. Yeah, like all things that would drag you out of the story. All right, what do we got here? It's getting late and his options are dwindling. He can ride the subway all night, but he'll probably get mugged or worse, and a cop might stop him. It's getting late and his options are dwindling. Matthew can ride the subway all night, but he'll probably get mugged or stopped by a cop. He could go back to the bus station and wait there, but he knows he'd just go ahead and hop on a bus. Oh, yeah. Finally, he realizes the Chinatown arcade is open 24 hours. If he's conservative with his quarters, he can probably hang out there all night for no more than $5. Maybe he can make some money with his back against the wall. He heads south, imagining someone at the arcade might take pity on him and let him crash at their couch. No. I think so. Matthew heads south, imagining someone at the arcade might take pity on him and let him crash on their couch. It's such a long shot that he scoffs at himself for even considering it. He never helped anyone who was hard up. He never gives money to bums. In fact, he tells them to fuck off if they hassle him. It was like the third or fourth appearance. It's such a long shot that he scoffs at himself for even considering it. He never helped any... Let's see. Okay, cool. So give me 1 second of dog time. Whew. Good God. Eyes out here watering. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Everybody's thinking the same thing. God damn. There we go. So this is like a little tune-up on this thing. Matthew heads south, wondering if someone at the arcade might take pity on him and let him crash on their couch. It's such a long shot that he scoffs at himself for even considering it. He never helped anyone who was hard up. He never helped anyone who was hard up, never gave a fuck about anyone else. Matthew doesn't give money to panhandlers. He's nasty to them. He never expected to be here. Matthew doesn't even give money to panhandlers. He's nasty to them. He never expected to be here. Matthew, that's better. All right. He never helped anyone who was hard up. Never gave a fuck about anyone else. Never gives money to charity. Yeah. Never gives money to charity. He's downright nasty to panhandlers. He never expected to be... Yeah. Let's see. Heard me playing the trumpet. Huh. Brr, 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 brr. Brr, 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 brr. Matthew trudges through the night. The rain never quite makes up its mind to fall. The rain never quite makes up its mind to fall. Instead, a cold mist is forever sifting onto him. He wipes his glasses on his shirt 100 times. The streets are practically deserted. A lonely cab cruises up canal, the driver eyeing him hungrily before realizing he's no fare. How would you spell Yui? Australian turn Yui. That's how it looks. That's wild. Sounds like my allergies are pretty bad right now. Yeah, I'm like, I guess that's what's going down. I guess I'm fucking allergified to something. Yeah, I guess it's early in the morning. There's pollen and shit happening. Whatever. Better than being dead. The streets are practically deserted. A lonely cab cruises up canal. The driver eyes Matthew, then pulls a Yui, deciding he's no fare. Halfway down the block on Mott, there's a guitar twanging out from under scaffolding. A scuffed up case strewn with pennies and singles taking up half the sidewalk. Beneath an alcove in the scaffolding, a bum has set up a little camp atop a nest of disintegrating cardboard and ratty blankets. Beneath an alcove, Beneath an alcove in the scaffolding, a bum has set up a little camp with garbage bags and ratty blankets. He's strumming away on the most out-of-tune guitar. I think out of tune is hyphenated. Nope, not hyphenated if used before a noun. Oh, okay. And in this case, it is used before a noun. He's strumming away on the most out-of-tune guitar Matthew has ever heard. Matthew tries to hustle by. Matthew tries to hustle past without making eye contact, but he trips over an uneven rise on the sidewalk and almost falls. Yeah, let's just say rise. We don't need uneven. But he trips over a rise on the sidewalk and almost falls. The old man looks up and stops strumming the battered six string. The bum looks up and stops strumming the battered six string. I don't think we need to. I think six string is. He has yellowed, empty eyes and heroin gray teeth. Matthew is frozen, terrified the bum is going to reach out and grab him. Yeah, I don't like gonna. All the color is bleeding out of the world again. For a dizzy moment, he thinks he's about to pass out. The bum looks up and stops strumming the battered guitar. He has yellowed, empty eyes and heroin gray teeth. Matthew is frozen. Terrified, the old man is about to reach out and grab him. All the color is bleeding out of the world again. For a dizzy moment, Matthew thinks he's about to pass out. Why does that keep happening? The old man's braying laugh breaks the spell, and Matthew clutches his chest. The old man's braying laugh breaks the spell, and Matthew clutches his chest. There's a broken ache under his solar plexus, like his heart has a Charlie horse. You had to look up Charlie horse. Yeah. The nice thing about Charlie horse is that it blends into the horse of this guy being whacked on heroin. So yeah, it all ties in. It's fucking wonderful. It's still a pretty ham-fisted paragraph, so let's work on that a little bit. The old man's braying laugh breaks the spell, and Matthew clutches his chest. There's a broken ache under his solar plexus, like his heart has a Charlie horse. The world's a... He's looking at a desaturated waste. Everything has gone as gray as the junkie's grinning teeth. The old man begins to sing, hoarse words slurring from his ravaged mouth. And then this is... So, let's get a little into the legality of having song lyrics in a work. You can't use like any song lyrics in a fucking novel at all. They're total cunts about it. Like, even this inclusion of like this one stanza of the song, you would have to write to the Bob Dylan, well, I guess he's still alive. You'd have to write to his agents and specifically pay them to include the words of this song, which is copyrighted, in a novel, even in this extent. How fucked up is that? Since I'll wind up probably publishing this myself, I just won't fucking pay them. And if they want to sue me, they can suck a dick. But we did resolve junkie/junkie. We're using the Y spelling and not the I spelling. And anybody who doesn't like it can also, you know what we're talking about there. No, I like the Y spelling better. This is a stylistic choice. I don't care about usage. It looks better to me, honestly. Let me see there. I don't know. Maybe I'll get into a fight with an editor about that one. Matthew recoils, trying to tell himself, oh yeah. Matthew recoils. He's heard that song 1,000 times. When he drinks, Gerald likes to blast his Dylan LPs on the hi-fi. Why is hi-fi capitalized? Yeah. Also, why does why would a child think the words hi-fi? That's one of those generational things. Like hi-fi is like real old, like Lemon's era, and then in Matthew's era, they stopped having sound systems for the most part. But if he did think about it, he'd think about a stereo. If they sue me, I can take it to BuzzFeed. Yeah, like I don't know. It's not the only incidence of Bob Dylan lyrics in this fucking book. And the guy's a brilliant lyricist. What do you want from me? I'm going to steal his work. God. Well, I'm not going to steal his work. We'll make every effort to fucking, I don't know. I'll send him $1 or something. I don't know. I think that's one of the more extravagantly awful parts of copyright law. The idea that the printed song lyrics are so heavily protected, and outside of the context of the song that they're in, it's like that for everybody too. But I'm not a big fan of copyright in general, to tell you the truth. So yeah, we're conspiring to commit copyright fraud here. No, it's just really like this book. If we really want to be honest with ourselves, this book will sell less than 1,000 copies, and nobody will give a shit. But I don't know. I think this one's pretty good, honestly. I really like this story. But yeah, like if I had a publisher, I want to say if we wrote to them and we're like, hey, we want to use this in your story, they would charge us somewhere between like $500 and $1,500 for each instance in the story. So we could have to drop like $3,000 on being able to print a few lyrics in there. Copyright Robert Zimmerman. I don't know the backstory of that one right there. Oh my god. Yeah, like seriously allergified out here. Anyhow, Matthew recoils. He's heard that song 1,000 times. When he drinks, Gerald likes to blast his Dylan LPs on the hi-fi, loud enough to fill every room in the house until he passes out with static hissing from the speakers, the needle popping again and again as it circles the final groove. Matthew hates Bob Dylan, his frogging, croaky voice, the jangling guitars. He hates the way the lyrics are forever coming to mind in uncomfortable situations. Dylan's like 1,000,000,000 years old. His stupid ancient song shouldn't even apply anymore. Nah, that's like ancient. Matthew hates Bob Dylan, his frogging, croaking voice, the jangling guitars. He hates the way the lyrics are forever coming to mind in an uncomfortable situation. Bob Dylan is like 1,000,000,000 years old. His stupid shut. Bob Dylan is like 1,000,000,000 years old. His stupid songs shouldn't apply anymore. But here he stands. The bum gestures at the open guitar case with his chin, and Matthew jerks away, wanting to say something like, sorry, I'm homeless too. But he can't get the words. He can't do anything. The old man grins, boring into Matthew with his gray eyes, and then he winks. Matthew hurries away, wondering what the weird moment of vertigo was. Oh, that's Bob Dylan's real name is Robert Zimmerman. I should have known that. I guess I'm not a true Dylan fan. The spell breaks and Matthew hurries away, wondering what that weird moment of vertigo was. He takes off his glasses to clean them on his shirt for the 1000th time. Every surface is beaded with moisture, and he can see it all perfectly clear, even without his glasses. Matthew wonders if there's a swelling in his brain causing the weird vertigo. He takes off his glasses to clean them on his shirt for the 1000th time. Seeping back. The spell breaks and Matthew hurries away. As he tries to put distance between himself and the old man, color seeps back into the world. Matthew wonders if he's got a concussion. Maybe swelling in his brain is causing the color blindness and vertigo. He takes off his glasses to clean them on his shirt for the 1000th time. Squinting around Mott Street. Every surface is beaded with moisture and he can see it all perfectly clear, even without his glasses. The signs for Wing on Woe and Hop Key painting the streets with painting the street with neon pink. Every drop is a diamond, bending the neon lights and street lamps into whirls of color. He takes off his glasses to clean them on his shirt for the 1000th time, squinting around Mott Street. Every surface is beaded with moisture and he can see it all perfectly clear, even without his glasses. The signs for Wing on Woe and Hop Key, painting the street neon pink. Every drop is a diamond, beneath the neon, bending the neon lights. Every raindrop is a diamond, bending the street lamps and restaurant lights into gems of scintillating color. Matthew's heart is beating like crazy. Matthew's heart is beating fast. He can feel every sound of the street thundering around him 10 times too loud. Yeah. I found it there. Oh, speaking of which, where did... Let me scroll back up here. Spathy gets a point for color seeping. So that's up to 41 right there. Yeah, we've been kind of cheap with points this morning. So remind me if you get one. You never got this high before. Certainly not off the shitty weed you can buy at Chinatown Fair. The sensation only lasts for a few seconds. It's probably brain damage. Matthew wishes Thirsty was here, even to say I told you so and tell him he fucked up. Matthew wishes Thirsty was here. Matthew wishes Thirsty was here, even to say I told you so. He'd even settle for Jerome. What about that? Matthew wishes Thirsty was here to say I told you so. Matthew wishes Thirsty was here to say I told you so. He'd even settle for Jerome. Anyone but the empty street, the slow, creeping sense that every decision is making the problem worse. The sky decides its time has come. Fat, freezing drops of rain begin to fall, hitting hard enough to sting. At a full run, Matthew makes it to Chinatown Fair just as the downpour begins. He runs up to the door. Oh, I think I had to count the number of blocks that this was. I think it's more like 70 blocks because you'd come down from uh 42 blocks down to it's like 70. Let's take out angrily. The sky decides its time has come. Fat, freezing drops of rain begin to fall, hitting hard enough to sting. At a full run, Matthew makes it to Chinatown Fair just as the downpour begins. Behind the fogged-up glass, the lights inside are dim. He walked almost 100 blocks and the place is closed. So Lit Up says, fuck Matthew. I am thinking that the whole fucking time I'm writing this book, Lit Up. Because, like, at the time where I was writing this book, like, the Matthew that we're thinking about, he wasn't, like, a factor. You know, he's just some nerd on the internet. He hadn't made an ass of himself in the way that he had, so I just didn't think about him at all. And now, annoyingly, just because we've had to deal with this asshole so much, also this character is kind of like a cocksucker, so it fits. But he says rename that character. I can't do it, to tell you the truth. How hard would it be to rename Matthew? All right, come up with a better name for this character, and we'll just knock him out of the book entirely. I don't know. Spathy, how do you feel about it? Does Matthew Hausterlitz sound right to you? I guess we could change his name to Shlomo or something. Little Jordy. No, because it's actually a good character. I'm not gonna change it up just because of users on IRC. And I never want to write Little Jordy into a book. That's awful. Ezekiel. Ezekiel was in the last book. Ezekiel Miracle Mathis. Abraham. Abraham Hausterlitz. I think I got it. Yeah, because actually kind of would make sense to change Matthew's name because Matthew is like too close to maybe. They're like M&Ms. And there are like a bunch of scenes that they're in. I like Abraham, actually. Gob is an ancient name from Jewish tradition. It's from Arrested Development. All right, yeah, I don't think we're going to name this guy Gob. I would go for something like super New York, like Yancey. I don't know. I'm not going to change that at this point. Matthew grabs the handle to wrench at the door. He's expecting it to be locked and surprise. Now he's getting drenched. Fuck. Matthew grabs the handle and wrenches at the door. He expects resistance, but the door swings open easily. It isn't locked. He ducks into... Okay, so we're going to go back to the old bum. Din has some profound meaning. Ruben Joel so lit up can't wait to spend his Trump bucks today. I didn't get any Trump bucks. Fuck. Yeah, I'm ready for this quarantine shit to be over. Let's just take all these old people and fucking march them into the sea. Problem solved. You know what I mean? Oh, that could be a good satire article, actually. Like just like Trump proposes coronavirus solution: march all the old people into the sea. God, I don't know. It's got a ring to it, right there. I'm trying to imagine how I would feel about being told to march into the sea. I wonder if that's ever happened at some point. Like just some as a punishment. I just pictured like a whole fucking regiment of soldiers with their tower shields and their heavy armor and stuff, just climbing over each other into the sea. That's gangsta. I gotta write that into a story somewhere. Send old people off on a piece of ice. Wow. Reminds me of stories of the Zanzibar Revolution a little bit. Uh, it's not homicide. They got a word for it. Senilicide. There are some cultures where when you get like old enough, they like send you off into the wilderness to die. And I think India's got like a weird thing. There's like a tradition where when people get to a certain age and they're like some kind of Hindu, like these Hindus will sort of start wandering around in the wilderness and begging for money, which is kind of wild. Um, but yeah, I don't think we're quite there in America yet. I don't think there will be strong support among the electorate for sending all the nation's elderly off onto an iceberg. But I could be wrong. You know, fucking who knows what these Republicans will go for these days. Lit Up says to kill them all. Well, I mean, you might just be a candidate for the Libertarian Party, Lit Up. Have you thought about like joining up? Let me see there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and edit out the like 4 or 5 like chopped up little itty bitty streams that we had earlier this morning. Let me see there. Okay, Matthew catches himself. So this is a real fucking klutz here. Okay, I want to include the word klutz, which is like one of the Jewiest words in the English language, right there. Ah, yeah, klutz. I like it. Yeah. What a klutz. All right, and then we need a colon there. Klutz books are awesome. They come with the juggling balls or the I remember that shit way back in the day. I think I had the juggling one, and I never fucking learned to juggle at all. And I had a harmonica too, and I never learned to do that at all. It'd be dope to know how to play the fucking harmonica, though. I'd enjoy that. Well, I guess maybe when they send me to prison for federal chat crimes, or for like wrong think in my articles, or for using Jewy as an adjective, uh, then I'll pick up the harmonica, the mouth harp. I don't know. I like that adjective. Like, there's no digging myself out of that hole. By the way, good God. All right. Yeah, honestly, when you think about the word, it just sounds like a little bit ugly as an adjective, um, which is weird. Because I didn't necessarily mean it in an ugly way, but it does sound that way. I hear it. All right, what do we got here? The second trip of the night hurts much worse. Matthew catches himself against the polished concrete with both hands, and a bolt of pain shoots through the bad wrist. Wincing, Matthew scrambles to his feet, wondering what he tripped over. The overhead lights are all out. The only light comes from the flickering arcade cabinets. Now we need illumination. The overhead lights are all out. The only illumination comes from the flickering arcade cabinets. It's Jerome. I don't think we can call him Wintergreen Jerome. Jerome is slumped on the floor. Jerome is motionless on the floor. One of his hands is outstretched towards the door like he was crawling towards it. It takes a second for his eyes to adjust. So Gerald / Jerome, that's our problem there. That like a lot of our character names are like too similar there, but this is Jerome. Jerome, you might remember, is the one, I don't think you were here for that chapter. So Jerome, in the initial scene where you meet Matthew Hausterlitz, he's the kid who takes $80 off of him and a Metro card playing Street Fighter. And then there is a chapter where Duchance meets Jerome and interrogates him for information on Matthew's whereabouts. So that is the chapter that you missed because you slept in. It's a good one too. Violent. It's Jerome. Jerome is motionless on the floor. One of his hands is outstretched towards the door like he was crawling towards it. Jerome is motionless on the floor. The arm Matthew tripped over is stretched towards the door like he was crawling towards it. He's on his side. Jerome is on his side. His face is battered. Jerome is on his side. He's been badly beaten. His face is battered. Both eyes are puffed up and there's blood rolling out of the side of his mouth. All his front teeth are missing. So there's a lot of focus on teeth in this chapter. Matthew can't tell if he's alive or dead. He's not the only one. All over the arcade there are boys laid out on the floor, battered and bloody. What the fuck? Matthew asks in a tiny voice, and no one can answer him. Screens are busted out. One of the stools is halfway through the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 machine. Shoutouts to fucking Eddie Goro and Hwarang, that just mash shit all day team. Although I think that was Tekken Tag Tournament 1. I think Eddie turned into somebody different in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, but I could be wrong. Should have stuck with Eddie. I liked Eddie. He's real racist. I think we changed this to just a Galaga machine. Screens are busted out. One of the stools is halfway through the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 monitor. The tube of the Galaga machine has been blown out and glass shards are everywhere. Clothes are torn and backpacks are ripped apart. A single lost shoe stands upright in the middle of the floor. There are two older boys tangled next to it. Each has his hands locked around the other's throat. They aren't moving at all. Outside, thunder rumbles. Outside, thunder rumbles. Yeah, why is that like that? Uh, so Lit Up says to change the screens to monitors and the displays to CRTs. So this story takes place in 2004, and at that point in Chinatown Fair, there were very few cabinets left um, that were CRT displays. They just weren't like that anymore. I would like it if there were more. We'll get into some like broken up pinball tables a little bit later because the whole arcade is trash. But yeah, at that point we had swapped over to almost all the Street Fighter cabinets. We're not running CRTs anymore. So historically we can't do that. Yeah, shout outs to Logic. Welcome to the stream. So I like that this whole scene is taking place with Guile's theme going at full blast. Hell yeah. Playing at the gas station like 1988 or something. I remember the first time I ever saw fucking Street Fighter was in an arcade in like Central Florida or something like that. Like way back in the day. And then it did the new Street Fighter 4 had just come out in when I was in New Zealand. Uh, and I remember playing that in arcades in fucking what's the capital of New Zealand? It's not Wellington. It's fucking in Auckland. There was an arcade around the corner from this bomb ass Chinese place where they did incredibly good like spiced pork noodles. And there's an arcade where I spent like way too much time there just playing random Filipino kids. It was like a 1995 machine. Yeah. What happened here? All right, so thunder rumbles outside and the arcade machines flicker as the power goes out for a second. Screens begin flashing random colors. The Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo machine begins to play Guile's theme at full blast. What happened here? Matthew keeps opening his mouth and closing it. No, I don't like that at all. Matthew keeps opening his mouth and closing it. Matthew keeps opening his mouth and closing it, unable to find words. His thoughts are coming in slow motion. He knows he ought to get out of here, but he can't process it. The color drains out of his vision again, and he grabs the side of a samurai Showdown cabinet, trying not to pass out. He walked so far to get here, and now everything is fucked up. He trudged so far to get here, and now everything is fucked up. When the lightheaded feeling passes, he looks around for anyone who can tell him what happened, nudging bodies with his foot, but no one wakes up. Most of the kids on the floor seem to only be unconscious, but the two chokers are definitely dead. For a long time, Matthew stares down at them, stupidly expecting them to snap out of it. All right, so lit up, yeah, go get your soda and snacks, and we'll probably be here when you're done. I don't think there was any dedicated Samurai Showdown cabinets. Let's see. Might have been like samurai swords. Now, there definitely was a Samurai Showdown cabinet. 'Cause I know I've played on one at one point. One active, yeah, so there's a Samurai Showdown machine for sale. Let's see if it's still for sale. Yeah, so the 107 people own these arcade machines. So I think that there is the point of Neo Geo was no dedicated arcade machines. Yeah. Neo Geo Kart. Maybe you're right. Yeah, MVS system. Yeah, it'd be one of those like multi Neo Geo MVS system. Let me see. No free curbside shipping. All right, what? Why are they? The screen ad takes up the entire fucking machine. 280 pounds. Game room goodies. Only be used in free play mode. And oh wow, it's just like one of the MVS systems that has like 100 fucking games in there. All right, I'm satisfied that arcade cabinets could have existed at some point, and I don't think that they actually had one in Chinatown Fair at the time, but I just want to get as also should I wonder if Samurai Showdown should be our video game names italicized. Yeah. Capitalized and italicized. Okay. So they it's in formal writing though. Okay, so all these should be italicized. I'm okay with that thing. So no dedicated cabinets. They had one slot to 6-slot Mobos. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about there. But yeah, I don't want to like put a Neo Geo cabinet. Maybe that only has one fucking slot in it, and all it plays is Samurai Showdown. Or like only one of the boards is in there. So I see what you're saying. That's like a neat piece of arcade trivia. I wonder if we can work that in without. All right. So first we're gonna italicize all these video game names. And then we're gonna go back to the first arcade scene and we're gonna do the same fucking shit. Okay. And here, let's just do this. We'll just make it a Marvel versus Capcom cabinet. There we go. So that's actually a pretty good edit. I'm gonna give Lit Up a point for that right there. Like just knowing that that's how that worked out. Who originally floated that? Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna give Lit Up a point. Wow, Mantis Code has 5 fucking points there. And at some point we'll organize them by point number. All right, so now we got to go back to all the way to. Okay, cool. I think that's the only other instance of Street Fighter that we got there. So we can get out of there. Command Control G, page 90. Oh, what's up, Big Jordan O right there? It's a shame because I want to have a Samurai Showdown machine there. Like. The color drains out of his vision again, and he grabs the side of a Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet, trying not to pass out. He trudged so far to get here, and now everything is fucked up. When the lightheaded feeling passes, he looks around for anyone who can tell him what happened, nudging bodies with his foot, but no one was. He nudges bodies with his foot, but no one wakes up. Most of the kids on the floor seem to only be unconscious, but the 2 chokers are definitely dead. For a long time, Matthew stares down at them, stupidly expecting them to snap out of it. Matthew thinks one of the chokers is a Ken player he won $50 from once. The other is too beaten up to recognize. And a lot of the others are the same. What the hell got into everyone? It looks like they all decided to get in a fight at once and there was nobody to break it up. Hands are busted. Everyone's hands are swollen up and their knuckles are busted. There's blood on the concrete and a sickly, sweet foulness in the air. And a sickly, sweet foulness in the air. Someone must have shit themselves. Oh, what's up, big Jordan O? On your TV again. What was the ruling on the dedicated Samurai Showdown cabinet? So we just cut out Samurai Showdown. I think that so dedicated cabinets have existed at some points during the world, but basically it's just like somebody has like a Neo Geo machine in there, and they only have the Samurai Showdown motherboard in that motherfucker. And there was like a lot of variation too, where people would like dress up cabinets. But I think you probably were right that it'd be rarer to just have one that was only running Samurai Showdown. And it's possible that the machine I'm remembering had like 4 or 5 different games in it, and we only ever played Samurai Showdown on it. So, yeah, sadly, Samurai Showdown just will. Wait, hold on. Let me see if there's just like a Samurai Showdown 2 cabinet. Yeah. Oh, okay, so there was. Yeah, let's fucking just make it Samurai Showdown 2. The trivia is worth more than 1 point. So I'm gonna give Logic a point for that guy too, because he was also getting in on the same deal, and I think he originated the whole thing. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it. No, we're gonna make a Samurai Showdown 2 cabinet, because those definitely do exist. And like I want to have Samurai Showdown in there because also Samurai Showdown 2 was a better game, believe it or not. And although to be historically accurate, at Chinatown Fair, people were much more into like Marvel vs. Capcom than Samurai Showdown 2. I and my friend used to play Samurai Showdown back in the day. 2-slot and 4-slot. Oh, so Lit Up had Neo Geo machines back in the day. He did his share of work. All right, I'm going to take that point away from Logic. All right, there we go. It looks like they all decided to get in a fight at once, and there was nobody to break it up. Everyone's hands are swollen. Their knuckles are busted. Everyone's knuckles are busted up and their hands are swollen. There's blood on the concrete and sickly sweet foulness in the air. Someone must have shit themselves. This is too big. This is too big for Matthew. The police are going to show they could get here at any time. This is too big for Matthew. The police are going to show. They could get here at any time. He turns to leave. The rain is hammering against the glass now, but getting soaked is the least of his problems. Better to hop in the river and swim to Jersey than get caught up in this shit. Matthew tiptoes towards the door through the fallen combatants when headlights flare outside. A V8 roars and Mott Street is painted red and blue by the flashing lights of a Crown Vic. Cops! Matthew's first thought is to escape. At the rear of the fair, is a graffitied up steel door that says emergency exit only, alarm will sound. Hold on. It's bullshit. People sneak through it every day to smoke weed. Behind the arcade is a complicated passage that weaves through 3 different buildings with about 10 different doors that may or may not be locked. With a little luck, you can make it all the way to the shoulder-width alley with a narrow red door that opens up onto Doyer Street between tasty hand-pulled noodle... Oh my god. With a little luck, you can make it all the way to a shoulder-width alley with a narrow red door that opens onto Doyer Street between Tasty Hand-Pulled Noodle Incorporated and Taiwan Pork Chop House. All real things. All this shit is for real, by the way. Except for the you can't actually... Not 100% that you can get there through Chinatown Fair. But yeah, there's definitely that weird passageway through those buildings between Tasty Hand Pulled Noodle Incorporated and Taiwan Pork Chop House. Those are real spots that you can go to. They're still there. Matthew's run the maze before. He knows the way. But he's afraid anyone could be back there, waiting to pounce. The cops will arrest him and drag him to Crossroads Juvenile Detention in Brownsville. They might beat him up, but they won't kill him. The 10 seconds of indecision feel like a lifetime. Outside, a voice begins to sing. Can't go on. Everything I had is gone. Stormy weather. Matthew Mouse, what? It's too late. A silhouette appears at the door and boots it open. There's a boy sprawled in the path. His skull becomes a doorstop as the frame smacks against it with a wet thud. A man saunters in, taking exaggerated steps like he's marching in formation. In both hands he holds a rifle at port arms. So it would be a shotgun there. They don't pass out. Oh wait, no, it is a rifle. In both hands, he holds a rifle at port arms. He stomps in, reeling a little on his feet, and then stands swiftly upright. Right shoulder arms, the man barks. Oh, where's Lit Up? Is he still here for this? No, it's at port arms. Yeah. Low ready. And in both hands he holds a rifle at port arms. He stomps in, reeling a little on his feet, then stands stiffly upright. Right shoulder arms, the man barks, swinging the weapon to his right shoulder in 3 sharp movements and standing rigidly upright. There are red and blue lights flashing outside, but this is no policeman. He looks drunk. The stranger grims beneath the dripping brim of his hat. His trench coat is slick with rain. Blowing in is the stink of acetone, stronger than the stench of the bloodbath. Matthew tries to be perfectly still. It's dark in the arcade and the man hasn't seen him. The stranger shows no surprise at the ravaged arcade. the boys strewn on the ground like losing tickets. His motions are casual and self-amused, like he's prancing naked in his own apartment with the curtains drawn. Matthew's summoning the courage to bolt, wondering if he can make it through the fire door before the man can aim his rifle. "Halt!" the man barks. The answer is no. He can't. "Halt!" the man barks. "Who goes there?" Okay, that can be one line. Matthew holds his hands up. He tries to say, "Don't shoot." So I wonder if we need a colon there at "don't shoot." I had drill and ceremony. Worst part of basic training. Oh yeah, that's just annoying. It was out there, for me it was in fucking San Antonio too. So you're just sweating your fucking ass off. Somebody passes out every fucking formation from locking their legs like a retard. I second the colon. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it just feels wrong to have a colon there. Look at this. He wants to shout, "Don't shoot." But the plea is a hard lump in his throat and he can't get it out. That was awful. "Identify yourself," the man demands, still grinning. The man demands, still grinning, and Matthew recognizes him at last. Officer Duchance, the drunken cop who blew that homeless lady's brains out. It's Officer Duchance, the drunken cop who blew that homeless lady's brains out. When Duchance recognizes Matthew, he starts to laugh, wild and uncontrolled. His voice is too loud. It fills the arcade, bouncing off the low ceilings and ringing in Matthew's ears. The sound of it makes Matthew shrivel. He spent 2 weeks getting high to try and get that woman's voice out of his memory. The worst part of basic for me was all the gay raw dogging, according to logic. Well, I didn't have that experience, but I didn't join the Marines. So, oof. Oof. It's Officer Duchance, the drunken cop who blew that homeless lady's brains out. When Duchance recognizes Matthew, he starts to laugh, wild and uncontrolled. His voice is way too loud. It's far too loud. It fills the arcade, bouncing off the low ceilings and ringing in Matthew's ears. The awful sound of it makes Matthew shrivel. It's just like that crazy woman. Matthew spent 2 weeks smoking weed every day to try and get the sound of her voice out of his head. Get it out of me. Now whatever was in her is in Duchamp's. Matthew's sure of it. Those animal eyes, that chemical smell. Matthew should have never come back here. Ha ha ha, Kaiser chortles. It's you. Kaiser chortles, swinging the rifle around wildly. It's you, the prodigal son. I spent weeks looking for you. Weeks, and now it doesn't even matter. Ha ha. Weeks, and now it doesn't even matter. Ha ha. Let's have a ha there. The party's already started, kid. Kaiser gestures around the arcade at the busted machines and broken children. He steps closer to Matthew. The stink of acetone is unbearable. I found it, Kaiser tells Matthew, his voice low and conspiratorial. A cure for pain. Come with me and you'll never hurt again. I won't tell anyone. I didn't see anything, Matthew blubbers. Just let me go. No can do, Kaiser grins. You're mine now. Freeze. Duchamp snaps the fingers of his free hand and points them like a pistol. The words harden around Matthew like ice. Duchamp snaps his fingers with his free hand and points them like a pistol. The word hardens around Matthew like ice. His muscles lock up. Matthew's muscles lock up. He can't breathe. There's a terrible empty hole at the center of his chest, like his heart stopped beating. He's done for. But then Matthew's vision goes gray again, and there's a crimson pounding behind his eyes. And then there's drums pounding behind his eyes, a sense of disassociation. For a second, it's like he's watching himself from outside of his own body. Yeah, we don't need... It's like he's watching himself from outside of his own body, his face contorting with fury, his arms and legs spasming free of the spell, flinging himself at Duchamp, all clawing hands. Okay. Huh, that's an interesting question. How to use dissociate versus disassociate. Same definition, to remove from association or cease associating. English reference books tend to recommend dissociate over disassociate. Most writers use the word interchangeably. So I want disassociate here rather than dissociate. I want the extra syllable in there. Yeah, dissociate sounds a little froofy to me. Okay, that's an interesting point, though. Yeah, they're basically interchangeable. I'd use dissociate more, like not officially, but just as like a long-time listener, first-time caller of the English language. I feel like dissociate would be used like slightly differently in a sentence. Like I would use as an adjective, like dissociated. Dissociate feels right, but yeah, in that article too, it was talking about like it's much more common for UK English to use dissociate than disassociate. Yeah, as a sense, I want it to be disassociation. Oh, but if I put the suggest some NY Jewish name for Matthew, please. Yeah, I don't know that we're actually going to change the name of Matthew. Because then, like, yeah, I hate changing character names. But it's like I've known them for so long, and they just feels anything else feels weird to me. Whatever. Somebody else can suggest what they want there. Duchance sidesteps the rush, surprisingly nimble. Duchance sidesteps the rush, surprisingly nimble for how drunk he seems. He points the finger gun at Matthew, making clicking sounds and flexing his thumb like an imaginary hammer. So huh, guess I'm out, Duchance grins. Better reload. Matthew's on all fours. His missed lunge landed him right on top of Lee Ho. He's scrambling around. The cornered thing in his chest is howling. He has to get his teeth into Chance to kill or be killed. Okay, hold on just a second. Ugh. Whew. We're going to try and make it through the end of this chapter. But, good God. Huh. Guess I'm out, Duchance grins. Better reload. Matthew's on all fours. His missed lunge landed him right on top of Lee Ho. He's scrambling around. He looks down at the rifle in his hands like he's not sure how it got there, and sets it on the floor. Duchance is shaking his head, looking like he's just come out of a dream. His eyes get wide as he looks around the arcade. He scrubs them with the heels of his palms, blinking rapidly. He begins to tremble as he clutches at his stomach. Oh no, Duchance moans. There's a sudden seasick clarity in his eyes. Oh, that's like a tongue twister. There's a sudden seasick clarity in his eyes. Matthew's seen this enough times to know what's happening. Duchance is sobering up. This is Matthew's chance to run away. But when he looks at Duchance, all he can see is Gerald's sneer, the money fluttering down. Tell that to the Post. Oh yeah, I don't think we need the that preposition right there. We don't need that there. He clutches his stomach and begins to tremble. Yeah, "at" is just superfluous. Whew. Ethan, Yosef, Adam. Adam is... Where does that fit into our mythology here? Adam Hausterlitz. Adamo. We'll think about it. But yeah, I'm not making that change today. I think I like Adam best out of these ones that have been proposed right here. What is that bias? If we make that change. I liked Abraham too, but Abe is like, that's not the right name for this character. This is Matthew's chance to run away. But when he looks at Duchance, all he can see is Gerald's sneer, the money fluttering down. Tell that to the Post. Matthew hurls himself at Duchance, hitting him with everything he's got. At first, Kaiser doesn't treat him like a threat, but when Matthew Matthew hurls himself at Duchance, hitting him with everything he's got. At first, Kaiser doesn't treat him like a threat. He just stands there vacantly. Vacant. He just stands there, vacant. Then Matthew lands a solid punch to... Matthew lands a solid punch to his midsection that gets his attention. There's wild strength coursing through Matthew, a newfound savagery. Somehow he's battering Duchance with a grown man's strength. He rams a fist into Duchance's gut and forces all the wind out of him. When Duchance doubles over, Matthew pops him in the jaw and knocks him back. Chance doesn't fight back. He just lets Matthew unload on him until his arms feel heavy. Let's go back to Matthew's seen this enough. Yeah, I think that's a really good edit there. In editing that, that brings you up to 42. 42 to 24. God damn. Just flip them digits and y'all the same. But no, what's happening there is that what am I thinking there? That's a really good point because we can sidestep some repetition, and it makes sense, more sense there. There's something weird happening. Matthew can't knock Kaiser down. Something weird happened. Matthew can't knock Kaiser down. Chance is absorbing the onslaught. The harder Matthew hits him, the wider that awful grin gets. He's only getting stronger. Seeing there's no more fight at him. Chance is absorbing the onslaught. The harder Matthew hits him, the wider his awful grin gets. He's only getting stronger. Finally, Matthew has nothing left. Seeing there's no more fight in him. When he can see there's no more fight left in Matthew, Chance backhands him as casually as he might swat a fly. The blow connects almost exactly where Gerald socked Matthew earlier. The blow connects almost exactly where Gerald hit him earlier, but there's no comparison. Gerald was just sparring. Chance slugs Matthew like the heavyweight champ, knocking him off his feet. Matthew goes flying and slams into the leg of the cue ball wizard pinball machine. That's my favorite pinball machine, by the way, of all time. Whew. Least favorite part of it starting to get warmer out is my ears getting itchy during long editing sessions. Driving me crazy. There's a snap, and Matthew can't tell if it's the particle board of the pinball table's chassis. Matthew goes flying. A strike sends Matthew flying. The strike sends Matthew flying into the leg of the cue ball wizard pinball machine. There's a snap, and Matthew can't tell if it's the pinball There's a snap, and Matthew can't tell if it's the table or... he wouldn't. A strike sends Matthew flying into the leg of the cue ball wizard pinball machine. There's a snap, and Matthew can't tell if it's the machine or his ribs. The pinball machine or his ribs. He's seeing double. It seems like DeChance has grown monstrously huge into a swollen mat. He's seeing double as Matthew climbs to his feet. His eyes are struggling to focus. In the haze, it seems like DeChance has grown monstrously huge. A swollen mass of writhing black tendrils that latch onto the beaten children, draining them. He's sucking Matthew's pain too, the throbbing in his head, the sharp hurt in his ribs. Agony drinker. I think that would be italicized. That's weird. The vision only lasts a split second, but it burns Matthew like a brand. Freeze, dirtbag, Kaiser orders again. And Matthew feels the order hardening around him, stronger now that DeChance has fed on him. Even with more juice, DeChance can't quite seem to get a grip. But even with more juice, the spell can't quite seem to take hold. Matthew pretends he's frozen. But Duchance isn't fooled. How are you doing that? Duchance asks, with a perplexed look like everything else that's happening isn't utterly insane. You must be something special, Duchance concludes. Just like me. You must be something special, Duchance concludes. Just like me. He scrutinizes Matthew in the flickering arcade light. The stink of acetone is overpowering. It's begun, Duchance says, sweeping a hand around the arcade. You can feel it already. When it hits you, you feel no pain. No, yeah, we gotta change this up. Boom. Yeah, we're making some rapid ass edits here. Cool. He's right. Whatever voodoo he laid on Matthew made him completely numb. His wrist, his ribs, the huge welt rising on the side of his face, none of it hurts. Instead, he can feel a kind of thrumming, eager hunger. Instead, he can feel a kind of eager hunger clawing at his guts. That's just a taste. Gotta keep this going. Can't stop. Can't run dry, Duchance says. His voice booms through the arcade. Matthew can't look away from Duchance. Whatever momentary clarity Duchance... Whatever momentary clarity the man felt a minute ago is long gone. Now he's grinning and grandiose. There's nothing in there Matthew can reason with or beg for mercy. Kaiser Duchance is utterly unhinged. We can bring them all down. We can swallow this city. Duchance's voice is getting too loud again, rattling the broken glass as he boasts. He breaks into a peal of maniacal laughter and Matthew runs for it, bolting for the fire door. You can't run, Duchance howls, delight in his voice. Matthew dashes down a hallway lit with yellow fluorescent lights, leaping over a trail of fallen boys slumped against the linoleum tiles. Behind him, he can hear the heavy steps of Kaiser Duchance. You can't hide. I'm already inside, Duchance roars. Matthew's rushing in pure panic. Pain is seeping back in at his side. Every breath hurts. He's dashing through the doors, running the maze, but Duchance's steps are only getting closer. Every door Matthew hits, he's terrified it'll be locked, but one by one they slam open. He's almost out. Matthew flies into a flooded courtyard that reeks of spent cooking oil even in the pouring rain. The water's ankle deep. Every step splashes as he lopes into the narrow alley. The bright red door is all that stands between him and freedom. Matthew slams into it at a full run. And the steel door lurches in his frame and then knocks him backwards, just as thunder crashes overhead. Matthew falls backward into the water. Oh, what do we have here? We got Yagiz, E-G-Y-T. Are you from Misfits? Yeah, Yagiz? Anyhow, welcome to the D-Live stream. We're editing a science fiction novel here. This is like our 10th day of doing this. And we just had 100 pages. Cool. So we made it to our quota of 10 pages a day. So, Madav, fuck. What does that mean? I don't know what you're talking about there. Calamarabia? It seems like some kind of Turk to me. But I could be wrong. Let's find out. You Turkey? All right, so... Oh yeah, there should be a comma there. Cool, that's a point for Spaithiwa. 43. Every door Matthew hits, he's terrified will be locked. Zeke. Every time he hits a door, Matthew's afraid it'll be locked, but one by one they slam open. He's almost out. Matthew flies into a flooded courtyard that reeks of spent cooking oil, even in the pouring rain. The water's ankle deep. Every step splashes as he lopes into the narrow alley. Oh, all right. So, what am I sipping? Right now, I've just got like that cold brew. Today, I'm making some more, by the way. Lit Up picked himself up a Dr. Pepper and a bag pickle. Lit Up, did you get a spicy pickle or a regular pickle? I like that there's like a whole genre of food that they have at the, like next to the till at a 7-Eleven that is purely feasted on by Lit Up. Lit Up is the only person that eats like fucking pickled eggs and roly taquitos and shit like that. Just him. He's the only one. He says he got the sour pickle rather than the spicy one. I can't agree. That's not my jam. If it's a single pickle in a clear plastic bag, I want it. I ain't putting my pickle in a plastic bag for anyone. It's spicy anyway. Damn. Matthew slams into the door at a full run, and the door... Oh. Matthew slams into the red door at a full run. The steel lurches in its frame and bounces him backward with a clang. Thunder cracks overhead. As thunder cracks overhead. Jelly juice. Healthy snack. Yeah, pickles. I mean, the only problem with them is that they're chock full of fucking salt. But, you know, we're Americans. We're gonna die. I'm gonna die, and soon. All right. Yeah, we've almost been editing for like 3 hours. What's our runtime, Spathy? What's the runtime, Spathy? It's like that REM song. All right. Matthew flies into a flooded courtyard that reeks of spent cooking oil, even in the pouring rain. The water's ankle deep. Every step splashes as he lopes towards the narrow alley. At the end of the alley, the red steel door is all that stands between him and freedom. Matthew slams into the red door at a full run. The steel lurches in its frame and bounces him backward with a clang as thunder cracks overhead. Matthew falls ass backward into the water and his head knocks against the pavement. Yeah, I don't need him to hit his head there. I'm glad that Jordan knows what the fuck I'm talking about, so I don't just sound like a madman. Can y'all hear those birds? That's a pretty song in the background there. Very, very like relaxing. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, it's spring. Spring half sproinged. Glad to hear it. 236. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, my goal is always edit 10 pages a day. I think that's within my constitution. And with today's session, we're gonna make it, even though some of our sessions were like totally bullshit. All right, so let's check. We did like a bunch of work here to edit up this scene because I think I wrote this in a hurry. All right, so Matthew, let's go back up to here. Matthew can't look away from Duchance. Whatever momentary clarity the man felt a minute ago is long gone. Now he's grinning and grandiose. There's nothing in there Matthew can reason with or beg for mercy. Kaiser Duchance is utterly unhinged. We can bring them all down. We can swallow this city. Duchance's voice is getting too loud again, rattling the broken glass as he boasts. He breaks into a peal of maniacal laughter, and Matthew runs for it, bolting for the fire door. You can't run, Duchance howls, delight in his voice. Matthew dashes down a hallway lit with yellow fluorescent lights, leaping over a trail of fallen boys slumped against the linoleum tiles. Behind him, he can hear the heavy steps of Kaiser Duchance. You can't hide. I'm already inside, Duchance roars. Matthew's rushing in pure panic. Matthew's running for his life. Pain is seeping in. We use seeping too much. His side is on fire. Every breath hurts. He's dashing through the doors, running the maze, but Duchance's steps are only getting closer. Every time he hits a door, Matthew's afraid it will be locked, but one by one they slam open. They should burst open. He's almost out. Matthew flies into a flooded courtyard that reeks of spent cooking oil even in the pouring rain. The water's ankle deep. Every step splashes as he lopes towards the narrow alley. At the end of the alley, as he lopes towards the narrow corridor that leaps to Doyer Street. At the end of the alley, the red steel door is all that stands between him and freedom. And you can go on Google Maps and see this red steel door. It's teeny tiny. Steel lurches, sentence needs a reframe. I agree 100%. So Skip Doha Hugh UK says, "How's life with the space tards?" Okay, so space tards was supposed to be delivered. The final edit, well, not the final edit, but the first edit of it is supposed to come back to me from the editor and proofreader like 2 days ago. His deadline is today, so I bet this motherfucker will get me the story at like 11:59 p.m. tonight or some horse shit like that. Anyhow, he's supposed to get that back to me today. And then if he gets it back to me today, like he's supposed to, tomorrow we're going to start working on the edit of Space Tards. And that may be one where we like spend all fucking day working on it there. So I want to get through that edit quickly. We've already got a cover for it. And then I'm going to work with you on the stream. We'll send it back to him for a proofreading pass. And then I'm going to start laying the book out. And we will potentially... I wonder how many people would be interested in a stream of me fucking typesetting. That seems like impossibly tedious. But if you want to learn how to typeset, I could potentially do that there. It's been a hot second since I've typeset anything, so I'd be relearning a little bit of it myself. But that's working in InDesign to lay out a book. I could maybe do that. I don't know. Let me think about it there. But we are going to do the comparison edit, and I think that's really interesting for people who watch Space Tards, is you'll be able to see, here are the things that I miss that an editor is like, you can't do that, asshole. So I'm really interested in that part of it, and hopefully we can start tomorrow. If this guy is later than today or something like that, I don't know. I don't like contractors that are late. It's a pet peeve. But at the same time, I'd rather he did a good job than I just rushed some shit out. And I'll be able to tell right away if he's like rushed through this. Spathy says, "I'll watch it if I'm awake." Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll try and hopefully it comes through. Matthew slams into the red door at full speed. The steel door lurches in its frame and doesn't give. He bounces backward with a clang as thunder cracks overhead. No, I don't like thunder crashes overhead as he does it. Something happened, but is it that fucking thing where Streamlabs isn't showing up again? Oh, I do not like that. Yeah, I didn't see what that was. Yeah, let's... Subscribe to Patreon for $1 a month for LRH. So that wouldn't have happened here. What level of Patreon will make the sneezing stop, though? Oh, that's the one you should have upgraded to. Oh, God. People are sneezing up in here. That's the Streamlabs sound, but I didn't see what the fuck happened. All right, hold on. Let's find out. All right, so what do we get here? Oh, so I see a couple of people that follow. That was like yesterday or something like that. We had Sarah Grimm. Yeah, it was the Streamlabs sound, but I don't see any Streamlabs shit. Maybe it's on a different account. Hold on. Let's try. Let's try on Twitch. Oh, god damn it. I gotta use a fucking token for this. Ugh. Alright. Fucking Authy. Yeah. Where's the dashboard in this? Recent events. No, that's weird. Yeah, so Streamlabs does some weird shit. Yeah, so I heard the sound and you heard the sound, but we don't have any recent events. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Whatever. Streamlabs requires you have an account or something like that. If Jordan knows, subscribe to... I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But like one of my biggest pet peeves is when Streamlabs decides to stop displaying alerts. It's happened many a time, and it's a pain in the ass. His luck ran out. I don't want his luck ran out. The problem with Streamlabs is they require PayPal, and my bank is not compatible. Yeah, so yeah, we've been trying to correct that whole fucking thing all day. All right, let's try this new paragraph here. Matthew hurtles into the door at a full run. He hits it with a loud... His shoulder strikes with a loud clang, just as thunder strikes above. There we go. Oh, I got 420 from Big Logic.
Writing. I can't wait to read the whole book. Happy 308, blaze it.
Happy 308, blaze it. Hell yeah. All right, there we go. Thank you, Logic. Much obliged there. I will put that money towards editing. His luck has run out. There's a thick silver padlock swinging from the latch of the red door. Behind him, Duchance's voice booms across the courtyard. Life is bad, gloom and misery everywhere, stormy weather. Just can't get my poor self together.
Oh, yeah!
What?
Spothy donated $1. Death to America. Test day.
Okay, so was that to the LRH account? That's weird that LRH shit is coming through. I wonder where we have that. So that must be it. Shoulder slams. Yeah, it was testing. Okay, so it went to... So the LRH account is popping up somewhere in the Streamlabs? That's weird. Yeah. All right, I'll have to fix that. I'll just have to figure out what it probably is like a cloned thing. It went... I love tobacco. I play them on LRH all the time. Oh, that's a good suggestion there. His shoulder slams into the steel with a clang. His shoulder slams into the steel with a clang as thunder crashes above. The door lurches in its frame, but it doesn't give. Math.
Oh, yeah!
L0J1K donated $. Death to America. Blaze it.
We're not supposed to have the Death to America thing happening in the background there. I wonder what the fuck that's going on there. Yeah, it must be like a hidden... I'll have to hunt through the whole fucking thing to find it. Whatever. I'm supposed to work on that today anyway. Gotta mute this bit of the recording. No, you know, like I'm down with Death to America. I think it's a noble concept. I think all empires should eventually fall. All walls must fall. Anyhow. Matthew hurtles into the door at a full run. His shoulder slams into the steel with a clang as thunder crashes above. The door lurches in its frame, but it doesn't give. Matthew bounces off and tumbles back. His luck just ran out. A thick silver padlock swings from the latch of the red door. Behind him, Duchance's voice booms across the courtyard. Alright, so then he's singing Stormy Weather, which is a song that he began. There, I'm going to give Spathy Wild a point for that shoulder slam, because I think that's better. Matthew tries to climb up the door, certain the razor wire strung above it will hurt less than whatever Duchance has in mind. But everything is slippery in the rain. Duchance grabs him by the hair and rips him off the door. Now you're mine, Duchance croons, dragging Matthew through the flooded alley by his hair. Matthew fights back, thrashing and kicking up spray, but Duchance's grip is iron. Next to the red door, Matthew's knocked-off yarmulke floats to the surface of the filthy water. Lightning flashes overhead, glittering on the silver clip. Then it sinks. Boom! Alright, so that was chapter number 6. Boom. Yeah, thank you for all those generous-ass donations right there. So we made it all the way to chapter 104. Alright, so let's take a gander at what we got done today. Can I get a time from somebody? And then... I think we got like 15 or 20 pages there. Zooming. And I have to tell you, this is so much better than the initial meeting with the man in gray in the previous chapter. Oh my God. Huge improvements. Around 3 hours. Okay. Well, I'd like an exact count if we can get it. So we got through 4,000 words today. That's like 1,000 more than we normally get through. So day 10. Why didn't I remember 4,022? Okay. So our 10-day recap is going to be that we got through... let's see. Let me do this the smart way instead of the stupid way that we just did it through. I think we're like around 20,000 words, hopefully. So in 10 days, we got through like 102 pages. And... what happens when you bleed? Yeah, I like the way the like little lines stick out at you while you're fucking. And then, so we got through 21,062 words. So we're at about 2,000 words a day. I don't think that's fast enough. Wait, I can't remember. 21,162. Oh yeah, if it's longer, no, Logic is right. It doesn't show if you go longer than an hour on a live stream. They just all right. So in 10 days, Spathy has been pulling up an average of 4.4 approved edits a day. Logic has 2.4. Everybody else is trailing. But let's also, if I can organize these by number of edits. I know that you nerds love this kind of shit. I think Dwayne and Jira are like way up there. Shout outs to fucking Comet Sans. All right, cool. So now these are organized by number of edits. And let me save this document, the edit list. So there's our captain's log right there. All right, so we made it through. In 10 days, we edited 20,000 words. Not great. Year is 40. writing in this one, yeah, logic. This shit seems to be like right up your alley, which I'm really digging. I'm glad because this, this book is written for somebody real specific. You know what I mean? Me, but and this is all the kind of shit that I like. Like weird, fucking mind-controlled demons and superpowers and grimy scenes and arcades, and this is just it's straight up exactly for me. But it's also it's not just nonstop action, but there's a lot of action. I like the sinking yarmulke. All right, well, we can call it a day here. I think we did good work. Thank you to everybody who participated, especially for them donations. That shit is helpful as all get out. So in Zach news today, I got to get the episodes of the other show up. Those will be uploaded today. And in retrospect, maybe that's not a compliment. I think it's fine. Yeah, what am I doing today? I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to try out my new sous vide. So hopefully that'll be good. Yeah, I want something that cooks chicken right without it drying out. So maybe that'll do it. All right, so shout out to everybody right here. Good luck today. Hopefully we'll get that edit back today. And then tomorrow we'll start working on Space Tards. It may take like the whole weekend to knock that edit out. But whatever the case, we'll hop into it. All right, I'll check y'all out later.